fine. It's nearly sorted now. Okay. So thank you all for joining this Zoom call today. As I mentioned, so beginning from today, every Friday, we would like to try and discuss this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sunday, we thought we would focus on Bhagavad Gita and its application. And we have been doing Bhagavad Gita on Fridays for a number of years. I still remember when I joined ISKCON Manchester some 15 years ago, our Deenbandhu Prabhu started Bhagavad Gita classes on Friday. And so since then, we have been discussing Bhagavad Gita Fridays. And this year, we wanted to try at least some Fridays, some months. Let's try out this and learn something from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Prabhupada, of course, 3 books are very important. Prabhupada 3 books. That is Bhagavad Gita. So that we are planning to do on Sundays, and Srimad Bhagavatam that we are doing on every first Saturday of the month. So devotees are coming together and discussing pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam. And then the Chaitanya Charitamrita, if we can discuss on Fridays, and that way we are covering three books. And the devotees usually they don't go and touch Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada described it as a postgraduate study. Bhagavad Gita is like ABCD, preliminary study, and then next level is Srimad Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Charitamrita is a postgraduate study. It is quite a deep subject matter, but I think somehow or other we have to, although we may not be up to that level, but yet we have to just open and read and try to relish. And by the blessings of devotees, we will be able to understand something. Because it is postgraduate study, like, let me finish, but we will never be able to finish as well these things. So we'll always be still learning. Is that how does it sound to the devotees? Is that a good idea? Fridays, let's do Chaitanya Charitamrita, because there are so many nice pastimes there, and we hardly go and read them out.
It's a good idea, I think, yeah, because after all, we're following Lord Chaitanya's Mahaprabhu's instruction, so it would be relevant to hear about Lord Chaitanya's. It's a good subject matter. It's a good try anyway.
Yeah, let's try out and see how it goes, and then we'll take it forward from there. So I thought, like, let's do a little bit of introduction to Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then maybe we can dwell into the subject matter. First of all, it's good to understand the background to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Many years ago, I've asked a devotee to give a class on Chaitanya Charitamrita. And that devotee asked me that from which canto should I speak? From which canto? So I said there are no cantos. Cantos are only in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are Adi Leela, and then Madhya Leela, Antya Leela. So sometimes devotees, they might stay quite quite long in ISKCON, but they might not have opened Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I thought, let's read and learn about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he is the merciful incarnation. What is that Rupa Goswami's prayer? Anybody remembers? Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. Does anybody know the meaning in their own words?
I know some part of it. Lord Chaitanya is incarnation of most magnificent incarnation of Lord Krishna. He's Krishna himself, not disguised, posed as Lord Chaitanya.
Yes, Krishna. Yeah, Namo Mahavadanyaya. So is the most munificent incarnation. Krishna Prema Pradhayate. So he is giver of Krishna Prema. Krishnaya, you are Krishna. Krishna Chaitanya Namine. You are Krishna, but you got the name. You assume the name of Krishna Chaitanya. Gaurat Tvishe Namaha. Tvishe means bodily luster. Is Gaura. Gaura means fair, golden complexion. And this was written by whom? This prayer was composed by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami composed this prayer, and this is there in the Mangalacharan after our Om Ajnana Timirandasya. Then we'll offer prayers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is written by Rupa Goswami. So let's see what we can. Let me share the screen. Okay. You able to see the full screen?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Thank you.
You can see like the behind the scenes scene.
So how do I do the best way, Sumit?
Do you want to share the other screen?
Okay. So
Screen 2.
yeah. Can you come and help me?
Screen 2.
Okay. There you go. It's better version now, I guess. Yes. So
Yeah, we can see it now.
Does anybody know when Prabhupada completed writing and publishing this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? Anybody has any guess? It said in 1974. Yes. Does anybody know how many volumes were originally published, Chaitanya Charitamrita? Now,
12?
Sorry?
Was it 12 or 17?
17. Yeah. And actually, Prabhupada ordered BBT to finish this task quickly. I don't remember, a month or 2 months. I don't remember this. Does anybody remembers from the congregation how many days or how many weeks or months they've taken? It was quite quick, if I remember well.
I think it is 2 or maybe 3 months, but most of 2 months.
Oh my goodness! So
I know one story that one this the devotee was in charge of printing Prabhupada's book, and he was going on a walk with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said that you finish in 2 months. So he says, no, Prabhupada, this is impossible. It cannot be finished. So I think Prabhupada said, do it now. So right now, while Prabhupada was walking, he's on walk. He went back, and started right in there and then, probably working on the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a very famous story.
very, very good. I was always amazed. you know, me being from the scientific background, and we had several times publishing articles. Mm. I had written my own thesis twice, in master's and in PhD. We took so much time just to write a little article. Mm. Uh, when we were reading this Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam especially, that first verse, it's more than a PhD. The purport to the first verse is more than a PhD. So sometimes when you read the purports, you wonder how Prabhupada is able to put together all that information. You try, like one verse you take, try to explain only one little paragraph, or within 1 minute you would try and finish, but suddenly like Prabhupada writes so much. Mm. So yes, it was in 17 volumes Prabhupada published. And again, I think Ramon Prabhu mentioned something like in 2 months, I think they've done everything, proofreading with pictures, and printing, everything was done in 2 months. Mm. So when I was just preparing for this class, the main thing that came to my mind was only the mercy. Uh, with the mercy of the acharyas and devotees, something is possible. Mm. Even the impossible can be possible by only the mercy of acharyas. Uh, that is the only thing repeatedly struck me when I was just preparing for this class. Mm. So we are highly indebted to Prabhupada for giving us these books. Who knows Bengali here? Even if you know Bengali, say for example, Chaitanya Charitamrita is in Bengali. Even if you know Bengali, but you wouldn't know the purports, isn't it? Mm. So Prabhupada, for our sake, he had translated these books into English. Mm. He had taken so much pain to translate these books. Uh, so much pain. We know that if we want to write something, we'll know how much pain. But so we are eternally indebted to Prabhupada for giving us these valuable gems. Um, mm. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, spiritual master of Prabhupada, said that people, he prediction, that was his prediction. Even Western countries, people from Western countries, they learn Bengali to read this Chaitanya Charitamrita. That time everything was in Bengali. So his prediction came true, that all over the world now people are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, um, trying to learn a little bit of Bengali as well. Mm. So, okay. So, yeah, we talked about these three books. So now move on. This was the, on the left, there was the 17 volume edition, and this is the latest edition, I guess. Yes. Latest one is only having 7 volumes, am I right? 7 or 9? 9, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So what does Chaitanya Charitamrita means? So there are three words in it: Chaitanya, Charita, Amrita. So Chaitanya means um, living force. Mm? Chaitanya means living force, and Charita means character. Amrita means nectar. Mm? So it is the life and teaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mm? So let us read this. So can someone read the text, please? Who is reading? Rajkumar Govinda, you want to read?
The word Chaitanya means living force. Charita means character, and Amrita means immortal. As living entities, we can move, but a table cannot because it doesn't possess living force. Moving and activity may be considered signs of symptoms of the living force. Indeed, it might be said that there can be no activity without the living force. Although the living force is present in the material condition, this condition is not Amrita, immortal. The word Chaitanya Charitamrita, then we might translate it as the character of the living force in immortality.
Okay, so Prabhupada translate that the word Chaitanya Charitamrita then may be translated as the character of the living force in immortality. Or otherwise, in simply, if you want to understand, this is the life and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Um, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is himself Krishna, we all know that. And the difference between Sri Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of devotee. Prabhupada mentions that sometimes the teacher, when he's teaching, he practices, alphabets, A, B, C, D, like that. So while teaching students, so he appears to practice some of the basic principles. Does it mean that the teacher is a student? No. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach this bhakti, devotional principle to the living entities. We all know that he came in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He wanted to experience that devotion, love of devotion that Srimati Radharani was experiencing. And at the same time, he wanted to teach this devotional principle to the living entities like us. But he is non-different from Krishna himself. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. So we know that Sri Krishna Chaitanya is non-different from Radha and Krishna. That is what our acharyas tells. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we systematically find that information. The author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami, he gives so many scriptural references to this subject matter. Is, as we discussed, is a merciful incarnation of the Lord. So it has been Chaitanya Charitamrita has got 3 parts, isn't it? So we have Adi Leela, Madhya Leela, Antya Leela. Leela means pastimes. Adi means the earlier pastimes, the middle pastimes, and then the later pastimes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived, how long did he live on the planet? For
48.
48 years. And the Adi and Madhya, I think, 48 years, that's right. So does anybody know who took the notes when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived? The accounts of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes were taken by, written by two of his most confidential servants or intimate servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Murari Gupta.
Murari Gupta, excellent. Murari Gupta, he collected up to 24 years. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas at the age of 24, am I right?
Yes.
So Murari Gupta, he took notes, he documented everything until Lord came to 24 years. And then from 24 to 48,
Swarup Damodar.
Swarup Damodar. I think looked like Sarvajna Prabhu, you are close associate of Swarup Damodar. you are remembering everything. So, and they were called Kadach, whatever they're called, Kadachits or Kadachin. Some documents, some notes.
Karcha.
Karacha?
Karcha.
Kadachin.
Kadachin. So that word is there, Kadachin, I think, yes. Anyway, so before Chaitanya Charitamrita, there were other works. Can anybody tell them what were they?
Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Chaitanya Bhagavat by?
I'm unable to recollect the name.
Vrindavan Das Thakur.
Vrindavan Das Thakur.
Chaitanya Bhagavat was by Vrindavan Das Thakur. And anybody remembers any other works of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Other works on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not
Something called Chaitanya Mangal Prabhu?
Chaitanya Mangal.
I don't know the author.
Chaitanya Charita. There is another book also called Chaitanya Charita. Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Charita, and Chaitanya Bhagavat. These are the three works. Vrindavan Das Thakur was incarnation of Vyasdev. So Chaitanya Bhagavat, he composed Chaitanya Bhagavat, but because he thought the book is going to be too voluminous, so he had skipped some of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially the later pastimes. We know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu until age 24, he was in Mayapur. He lived in Navadvip and Mayapur. And after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent his time at Jagannath Puri after taking sannyas, and also visited South India and Vrindavan while he was living in Jagannath Puri. So Vrindavan Das Thakur had left some of the pastimes out. So it was not complete, especially the later pastime. He had focused mainly on the early pastimes of the Lord. So then who composed Chaitanya Charitamrita, and why did he compose Chaitanya Charitamrita? Usually when people, they retire, or when especially politicians or other people, when they retire, they write a book, and sometimes they publish and they make money out of it. But here, why did the author do so? That is a very interesting story that we will focus on today. We all know, I think some of you probably know this story as well. Let me share the screen. This is PowerPoint. Are you able to see the screen by any chance?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Right. So the author, we all know, who is the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was a Krishna Bhakta, is a devotee of Krishna, who was living in the village called Katwa. and he had a brother. Both they were in the joint family, and one day they had a nice kirtan at their place. So his brother and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, they were having good time. But in the meantime, there is one devotee called Miniketan Ramdas. Is the servant of Nityananda Prabhu. He came to the satsang, Miniketan Ramdas, who is the servant of Nityananda Prabhu. So the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's brother, he had faith in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he did not believe Nityananda Prabhu. So because he did not believe Nityananda Prabhu, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author's brother, he did not believe Nityananda Prabhu so much. So that's why when the servant of Nityananda Prabhu, Miniketan Ramdas came, he neglected, he did not respect. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami chastised his brother like anything. How can you not respect the servant, dear servant of Nityananda Prabhu? Hmm? So here the principle again comes that respecting servant is very important. Hmm? So because he did not believe Nityananda Prabhu, he did not respect. Hmm? But anyway, so that night he chastised his brother heavily and went home and slept. In the early hours, uh, um, Kaviraj Goswami had a dream. And in the dream, he saw Nityananda Prabhu, means in the form of Balram. And he appeared in the dream, and he was very pleased with Kaviraj Goswami for his strong faith in Nityananda Prabhu. And this is what he said here. Can somebody read the information? Yes, somebody, please.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please, Mataji.
I am very happy with you. You have nothing to fear. It is my blessing to you that you will leave this house and family life and go to Vrindavan. There you will attain everything by my grace. You will get the exclusive service of Radha Krishna in Vrindavan.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada repeatedly mentions, although there are several works about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but the most prominent one is by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, that is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's why Prabhupada, although there was Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charita, and Chaitanya Mangal, although there were other works about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada particularly chosen Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, because Prabhupada thought that that was the principal work on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here, this blessing was given by Nityananda Prabhu, Balram, or Hadi Guru, to Kaviraj Goswami, that you live for Vrindavan, live for Vrindavan. If you go to Vrindavan, all your desires will be fulfilled and you will get service to Radha Krishna. Service to Radha Krishna is the life and soul of the Vaishnavas, isn't it? That's the wealth. In the Tulsi Arti, we also say, isn't it? Seva adhikara dhiyo koro nijadasi. So this give me the service opportunity, service to Radha and Krishna. So Balram was really pleased with Kaviraj Goswami. So Kaviraj Goswami then left for Vrindavan, and where he met our 6 Goswamis, headed by Rupa and Sanatan. So then he intimately associated with Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami, we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita a lot about him. Raghunath Das Goswami was very close associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was from very aristocratic background. He left home several times. So Raghunath Das Goswami, so he gave the knowledge about the Lord's later pastimes. So he was intimately connected to Raghunath Das Goswami, and from him heard the later pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why if you see Chaitanya Charitamrita, anybody remembers every chapter, he ends with this shloka. I'll share that. This is how he ends every chapter. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Padeyara Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Dasa. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I Krishnadas narrate Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. So this is how he ends the every chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I'm sure everybody who had read Chaitanya Charitamrita, everybody feels that it was so systematic. So systematic. He gives nice introduction and then he explained it. Everything is in perfect order. And when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami took the project of writing this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was very late age. He was at a late age. But he did everything so nicely, and he was so humble. We can read that from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let's go there. That's where we were. So yes, Kaviraj Goswami went to Vrindavan and took the association of 6 Goswamis, especially Raghunath Das Goswami, and from him heard the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later, the Goswamis and all other Gaudiya Vaishnavas, when they heard the beautiful descriptions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from the mouth of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, they were very much absorbed, very enlightened. And all the Vaishnavas, they gathered and they requested Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to write a book. So he was a little bit hesitant because there are already other works. Yes, and especially the Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur. So he was a little bit hesitant whether to write or not to write. But all the Vaishnavas, they had requested. And when they had requested, he thought, let me do and see what Madan Mohan ji says. So along with all Vaishnavas, you can see this here. Kaviraj Goswami is being garlanded. So when they went to Madan Mohan temple, in those days, the three principal deities of Vrindavan are Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govind, and Radha Gopinath. And this is our Sambandha Acharya. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami went and he was taking blessings of Radha Madan Mohan ji, and a garland fell from Radha Madan Mohan, and the priest he offered that garland to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami took that as an indication of Radha Madan Mohan that he can take up this work. And he took that, this is the order of Radha Madan Mohan, now I can compose. Vaishnavas gave order. And then on top of Vaishnavas, Radha Madan Mohan ji also gave his permission for me to compose this Chaitanya Charitamrita. So then, yes, and with the permission of Radha Madan Mohan ji, with the blessings of Radha Madan Mohan ji, he composed this great work, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he mentions clearly that he offers his prayers to Vrindavan Das Thakur many times in his book. And he says that I am taking the remnants that are left by Vrindavan Das Thakur. As I mentioned earlier on, Vrindavan Das Thakur could not include the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he thought the book is going to be too voluminous. So here his mood is still respecting the predecessor. He mentions many times that in his book, many times he mentions about Vrindavan Das Thakur and others also. He advises that, my readers, please go and read them as well. And he's not saying that I am greater, but here he's putting that I am taking the remnants that are left by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Very humble mood. He has a great Vaishnava qualities, and that's how he composed this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Such a beautiful narration. And see, I was just meditating how everything is coming from Balram. If you see, Guru Tattva, Balram is Adi Guru. So he blessed Kaviraj Goswami. And Kaviraj Goswami took up this work of writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then our previous acharyas, Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati and Bhakti Vinod Thakur, they both had commented in Bengali on Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada, see, gurus, so every, it's all Guru's mercy. And Prabhupada, so while writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, he used these purports by Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati and Bhakti Vinod Thakur and put everything into writing for our benefit. So a nice nectarian, relishable substance is given by Chaitanya, our Srila Prabhupada, for all of us to read and thoroughly enjoy this book. So it's just mercy. That's what I was thinking, like, only by the mercy of Guru that we are getting these valuable jewels. Otherwise, nothing. So that is a little background that that I wanted to share before we actually enter into the subject matter. Understand the author's mood, and also, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how it's how entire Chaitanya Charitamrita has been divided. So why did Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami take up writing this work on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Just wanted to give a little background, and it is very scientific. This book is quite scientific. Just let me. Quite scientific, and he gives so many references from various scriptures. This book is full of references from Srimad Bhagavatam. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll be reading Srimad Bhagavatam a lot. He will be quoting many verses from Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas, Padma Puran and other Puranas. So there are scriptural references, and our Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami establishes in his book, especially in the Adi Leela, he establishes how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as well, because there are several incarnations of Krishna, and especially that verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, where Krishna says from the third chapter of first canto, Etes Chamsha Kalapumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Rudayanti Yuge Yuge. So after describing 21 incarnations, Sutta Goswami then says that all these incarnations are plenary portions or portions of plenary portions of the Lord, but Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So he says that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he took this verse and he explained it in detail, how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and all others are incarnations of Sri Krishna himself. And there are very nice exchanges between devotees. Actually, by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will know how we should interact as devotees with each other. There is a lot of prasadam in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you feel hungry. Lot of prasadam. Wherever you open, lot of prasadam. Advaita Acharya feeding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, and Sarvam Bhattacharya feeding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and various devotees inviting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And even when the Haridas Thakur, when he left his body, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begged prasadam, and he fed personally everyone. So there is so much nectar, so much prasadam. Pastimes are there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it's a nice book that we can read and learn so many things, that how as devotees we can actually interact with each other, how it shows how how loving they were with each other as devotees. So that's how that sort of interactions it gives. So I wanted to stop it there, but I wanted to hear from other devotees if they wanted to share anything about this Chaitanya Charitamrita, or anything that we have discussed. So please do comment and let us know what you think.
Prabhuji, we have a festival called Chida Dahi Festival.
Oh, that's wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you for reminding us. Yes, you made me hungry now. I should make some chida dahi now after the class. Chida dahi is a wonderful festival, isn't it? Raghunath Das Goswami supplied chida dahi, other ingredients. So they were all soaked in yogurt and milk. So Nityananda Prabhu ordered Raghunath Das Goswami to feed all the Vaishnavas. So that's a wonderful festival. Yes. So that's a proper prasadam festival.
Yeah, generally we have some event. The event's conclusion is prasadam. But dahi chida, there is no event. The prasadam itself is an event.
Yes.
You feel hungry many times when you hear Chaitanya Charitamrita. You feel hungry actually. Let's take some prasadam. Hungry for Krishna Katha, hungry for tummy as well. Kirtan?
Yeah.
Plenty of kirtan.
Kirtan and Prasad.
Kirtan and prasadam. Kirtan and prasadam. Yes, plenty of kirtan. Anything else anybody wanted to share about Chaitanya Charitamrita?
The Chaitanya Charitamrita, the meter of all the verses, it is so sweet. When we sing because it's written in Bangla, Bengali language.
Yeah.
And the verse are sung. It's not the same meter as Bhagavatam. It is its own unique meter, and it's very sweet. Just hearing that shlokas, the verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's very pleasing. Very pleasing to heart.
Yeah, everything is pleasing, isn't it? Katha Ghanam. Every word is a song, every step is a dance. So, devotees, every step is a dance. Naturally, they dance. Every word is a song. So in devotional service, we can enjoy everything, isn't it? We sing, we dance, we eat prasadam. So in outside world, people, they learn music and they go for these vocal classes. But here we have bhajans, we have shlokas. Our Raghunath Bhatta Goswami used to sing Bhagavatam, every shloka Bhagavatam in 3 to 4 meters, I think, different meters. Yes, so that way we can relish. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing that. And okay, let's, I think next Friday is our Bhajan Sandhya. But after that, we'll come back to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let us see how it goes. So now we have this series. At least a couple of months, we will try and see how devotees will feel on this series. Okay, so that's it from me. And Sunday we have a class at 1 o'clock. So that is on 3 types of foods and their effects from 17th chapter. So please do take part in it. And next Friday is Bhajan Sandhya. Okay, so that's it from me. Anything else from Ramon Prabhu, Rajkumar, Govinda, Sarvagnya Prabhu?
Nothing from my side.
Nothing? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bolo Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari.
Hari Bol, Hari Krishna.
Hari Bol, Ambara Prabhu, Hari Bol.